Well, let's get to it. Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Foxtail Digital coming to you again with Black Girl Stocks, and this is another segment of our top 3 option plays this week where we're just going to go over a few different trades, stock fundamentals, and a few different strategies that you can do to make it through, okay? But first, if this is your first time watching this video, please make sure that you click that thumbs up button. Really helps the channel. Also, make sure that you subscribe. Click that notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video for you guys. All right, so before we get into it, the premise of this video, I want to start it off with a little bit of information. So I've been seeing the term September effect a lot recently in stock market news and stuff like that, and the month of September is notorious for stock sell-offs throughout history. So I don't know how much I fully buy into that, but it's just kind of something to think about going into the market for September. All right, and as you've seen this last week, it's been a little bearish since the first, okay? Let's be honest. But either way, you know, let's see what it's talking about. Let's get in there. All right. Okay, so just a quick recap of last week. So we were overall bullish on BTU with the coal sector up. We were looking at it when it was $17.54. It hit $19.23 on the 10th. So I mean, that's pretty cute. I hope you guys got in on that, and always, like I say, keep a stop loss because it did start to, you know, taper off towards the end of the week. All right. Next, we were pretty neutral on CCL. It was trading at $22.96. So when we were looking at it, we were seeing this pattern for a price increase, but it was a little bit early and it's still coasting this support trend line right here. It did briefly touch resistance at 24 pretty quickly, but then it shot down back to 22.75. So
how predictable?
Actually not really predictable at all, but I mean, hey. And then last but not least is Pinterest. We were checking it out when it was and had an overall neutral to bearish, you know, position. It did end up dropping to, I mean, hey, it was a small little move, but it did continue in that downtrend that we saw, especially after this big drop after earnings. Bye. All right, so let's get into this week's plays. The first stock that we're going to talk about is ABT. This is Abbott Laboratories, and it closed at $128.72 on Friday. Now, just looking, I know you see that stock chart. You know what I'm talking about. So just looking at the stock chart, you can clearly see that this is more than up. This is a great uptrend. So Abbott is one of the top medical device companies based out of Chicago, Illinois. One of the biggest pieces of news surrounding a lot of companies in this sector right now is the effect of the pandemic and new developments to control the virus. So on Thursday, your President Joe Biden discussed the new COVID-19 action plan with the mandate that all companies with more than 100 employees will either be required to be vaccinated or present negative test results weekly. So how can we use this to our advantage as traders? This could mean continued bullish movements for a lot of stocks that sell COVID testing kits, okay? Now, I saw about 19 different stocks in here. I narrowed it down to my top 3. You know, ABT was just one of my favorite picks because of the stock chart pattern, the decent stock price, and it did have the cheapest options. This new plan is definitely giving analysts more indication that these stocks are going to do very well for their upcoming earning estimates. So this is going to be great. Right now at 128, it's very, very close to its 52-week high of 130. So it hit 130 on Thursday during after hours, and then it kind of fell off a little bit, but hey, it's still in an uptrend. Going into this play, I'm going to be bullish on this. Let's zoom in a little bit more. I mean, just with the news alone, this stock and many others in that sector are probably bound to continue on that uptrend. And then looking at the options, like I said, implied volatility is very low, 23%. By October 1st, it's expected to move at least $5 up or down. So you see this plus or minus right here. That is our MMM, our market maker move. So that just kind of gives us, you know, a guesstimate of how much this is going to move up. Pick an expiration that's a little bit further out. And for this one, I could do a strike. You can do a strike price of 129. You'll see right here, the delta is okay, has a very low theta, and it looks pretty good. The only thing is the volume and open interest is a little light. This is, I don't know, this is really, I think this is going to be big with the news. What? 4 attempts? Pressure me? All right, so the most that you can lose with this one is gonna be $224. So that's just kind of something that I'm looking into for that, just from the news, okay? So boom, that's that on that. Make sure you guys smash that like button for me too. So the next play is gonna be AMD. This is Advanced Micro Devices. Right now it's trading at 105.20, and it's taken a pretty good hit since reaching that 122 at the beginning of August. So part of this decline could just be, you know, a natural price correction from a fast uptrend. But another big bearish factor is going to be the ongoing saga of the semiconductor chip shortage, which has really been causing big time companies like, you know, General Motors and Ford to stop production, and also they're cutting shifts too. So yeah, these chips are really in such high demand that customers are willing to pay more money for new and used cars. And I honestly, personally, I can attest to this because I just bought a new car. Well, it wasn't new, but it's a very nice looking car. I just bought it in April, and you know, my dad is pretty good with the, you know, hey, you know, let's drop the price a little. No. They would not budge. They were not budging, child. It is what it is. They know that this shortage is really taking a toll on production, and going into next week is still going to be looking bearish for AMD. And even right now, they're having talks of investing billions of dollars to build different chip factories. I think they said Arizona. Going to be a while before profits start to climb because of the supply chain being so behind. Let me see. Let's look at the options. Okay, so for this one is pretty good too. Has a fairly low implied volatility. Market maker move looks good. It looks like it could have some cute moves, but it doesn't say if it's going to be up or down, of course, but it's in a downtrend. So honestly, I'm going to be pretty bearish on this, and I'm going to want to do put plays. But if you'll notice here, you know, obviously the further we go out, these plays do get a little bit expensive. So I'm going to give you guys two different plays for this one. I have one that I'm going to call my low put, and I'm going to have a high put. Go to the options. So for the first choice, and it's still going to be a put. All right, so it's going to be the same strike price. I'm going to pick September 24th because that's pretty cool. The only thing that's going to change is my strike prices. So the first one, all right, so for this one, we're going to pick the strike price of 100. Now I know it's a little bit low, because that's actually my price target. For AMD, hold on, let me see. For AMD, I definitely have a price target of about 100. So let's zoom in just a little bit. So yeah, you see right there, it's still in that downtrend. For me, my price target is going to be 100. You can pick a strike price of 100 for the put. It's going to be a little bit cheaper. And then obviously, I know you see that volume and that open interest. 1,000 each? Girl! So clicking on that one, I mean, that would be cool. Okay, I've never seen this with the put. It gives you your absolute max. So the most we can make with this one is 9,000, which is probably not going to happen. It would have to drop down to 0. But yeah, the most that you can lose is 118. So this is cute. I like that one. Now, let me give you the other option. That was considered a little out of the money, but we can pick a strike price that's a little bit closer to the actual stock, and that way we would be getting more money as the stock goes in our favor, but then at the same time you'll lose more if it doesn't. We're not going to worry about that. We're not going to worry about that because you're going to put a stop loss, so it doesn't even matter, right? You putting your stop loss, right? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I remember you from the comments. I remember, yeah. So for this one, this is my high. This one a little bit bigger. This one, we're gonna pick the 104 strike price, okay? It's still looking pretty cute. It's looking okay. And it still has pretty high numbers. Let's see with AMD, okay? Lastly is gonna be DIS. This is Disney. And right now, Disney is trading at 184.12. It really hasn't been on a huge uptrend. You'll kind of see, even with this indicator, it looks like a little kid's drawing book right now. But for the most part, it's kind of been in a downtrend, and for a while, since about May, it's kind of been side trading for a while in between a obvious zone here. Had one little breakout. You'll see it did very well after this recent earnings beat. So it had an earnings, it did very well, went up crazy. You see it, look, it went crazy. It went from, what is this, around 177 all the way up to 189. Wow, in one day. But then you'll see it quickly drop after that. But But one good thing is it's been on a steady little uptrend ever since then. And then the strength of that trend, it looks like it's improving. So this is my new favorite indicator. This is the ADX. In here it's labeled as DMI, but it's known as the ADX indicator. That's that white line. And then the green line is going to be for your positive, which is uptrend buying pressure, and then the red for the down. So you'll see right here, we are in a good uptrend, steadily increasing. Disney is looking pretty good. All right. Also, as far as news, Disney just announced on Friday that it's going to be releasing the rest of the film rollouts exclusively in movie theaters for about a month. Kind of, I don't know how long movies were in theaters before. I feel like it was maybe a month or two, but they had huge summer box office success with films like Shang-Chi, and then they had The Legend of the Ten Rings both of those brought in $90 million over Labor Day weekend. That's 4 days, 90 million. During the pandemic, like that's pretty good. But then at the same time, they had some backlash from the Black Widow movie. Not even really the Black Widow movie, but they got sued, okay? Should I say allegedly? Do I need to say that? Alleged, I'm just gonna say just to be safe. We just hit 100,000 subscribers, so people are watching. You never sue me. So allegedly, they are being sued by Scarlett Johansson because they tried to pull the little okie doke. She had some type of deal to get money from streams, and then they went and threw it out in the theaters, and that cut in on her coin. So girl, she said, cut my check, and they're getting sued. So, but yeah, so anyways, with this new rollout, it could look like future gains for Disney. And then of course, there's always money with Disney. Disney is just doing great. So for Disney, I'm gonna be fairly neutral to bullish. Let's go in a little bit closer. For this stock, I do have a price target of 189. So you see, like I said, right now it's at 184. I have a personal price target of 189. And I would not get into that unless I kind of started to see this stock go upwards to 185. That would be a great indicator to me that whatever this little slowdown downtrend is, we're gonna break through that and come back up. So that's what I will wait as far as getting in. And then going to the options, I got some good plays today because the implied volatility is low. Okay, I'm gonna have two on this one too, just like the last one. So for this expiration date, I'm gonna pick October 1st. That just gives us some time, and make sure that we change this to calls. You don't want that, you don't want those problems. And so for the low, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to pick a strike price of 190. So this is a little bit out of the money. This is actually my price target. And you'll see here, boom, great volume, great open interest. The delta's a little bit low, but that's okay. And the theta is all right too. So I'm kind of liking this one. So obviously, the most that you're gonna lose with this one is 173. That's not too bad. And then the next one is going to be a strike price of 185. So this is going to be a little bit more expensive. You know, the numbers look okay on there too, but then you'll see that the delta is higher and the theta is it's kind of higher. Spending more money. But yeah, so that's another option, a little bit closer to the actual strike price. But then the most that you can lose with this one is $400. So, you know, you pick which one works best for you. But I think I might go with the first one. So you guys, these are going to be the plays for this week. Make sure you put them on a watch list, set your price alerts, set your stop losses, and put it together like the works. But yeah, make sure that you check out this video on what a lot of investors aren't doing, okay? They're not manifesting. So if you want it, you have to see it. You have to feel it first. And you're gonna see me drive a Tesla for the first time. Tesla. So check that out. All right.